Hi folks, Happy New Year. So one of the best things about running a channel like this is that sometimes people from the past get in touch with me when I've not spoken to them for years. And today is one of those days. I had a very nice phone conversation with a former colleague of mine earlier today, after he sent me a rather lovely email with a story attached to it from Games Workshop. So, thank you very much for getting in touch with me. And also, if you've known me at Games Workshop or anywhere and you want to get in touch, then, you know, the email is right there. Let's have a chat. This is a Games Workshop story. Let's jump in, shall we? Bruce the Inheritor says, "Hey North. A shorter story that hopefully you will find is a bit of a chuckle. I assume you will remember me telling you this one over a bevy in Bugman's on a cold Tuesday where you were returning from training. I think you were in Nottingham doing a sit-down session over the weekend and was off the next week. So came in to get some Palatine blades, the Emperor's Children's sword blokes. And we caught up. Yeah, for those of you wondering, I wasn't collecting Emperor's Children, I just wanted Marines with swords, essentially. Just narrowing down the days for you. I think you've mentioned it on your channel before, but your telling was missing a lot of stuff, and I was actually there for the story, so I can give you the details. Fun fact is that you didn't remember who told you the story correctly. It was me, not your trainer. Right, okay, so that's cool. So I thought this story was told to me by my trainer, but obviously it was Bruce instead. For your listeners, I am a current Games Workshop manager, and will leave the rest there as I still actively work for the company and don't want any public attention. Also, all three other blokes in the story have left, and my tale has become somewhat of an urban legend, even within the company, even though it's true. Before I became a manager at Games Workshop, I was, like many others, a red shirt. This is what we normally describe those who are simple staff members within the company. So yeah, if you've ever seen somebody in the store who's just walking around, generally trying to help customers out, who's not the manager, we call them a red shirt, even though they don't wear red shirts anymore. It's weird. Anyway. Our store had a great atmosphere, and although the manager could be a bit of a job's worth in terms of cleaning, re-cleaning, and generally pushing us all the time, he was not a total loss. He was firm but fair, and likely the best manager I had at Games Workshop, thanks to that saving grace. We will call him Will. There was me, a gangly lad called James, a support staffer called Stavros, and another red shirt by the name of Kieran. So, for weeks we had been prepping the store anniversary, which is a big celebration each store has on the yearly anniversary of their first opening. It's generally a cool event, filled with cake, prizes, and other things to do. It does serve an ulterior motive, though, that never really sat right with me. Its main aim was to make the store anniversary a huge day for sales. As such, we were always pushed to get bigger and bigger takes on a store anniversary year by year, with even freebies, knickknacks, not actual models, given away with certain spending targets to customers. Yeah, that's something that, you know, it was cool to give away prizes and stuff for people who spend a lot. But it was also kind of, when I did my own store anniversary, I made good money, either way. So I started giving the stuff away for free, just for free, because I like to give stuff away. Rather than saying you need to spend this amount of money, or I'm not giving you this keychain. So, no, bollocks to it, there you go, have a keychain. I've got 300 of them, have a keychain, you know. Anyway, this store anniversary was going to be a big one, as not only was it a year in which sales had been up, but it also fell on the birthday of the other red shirt working at the store, Kieran. The lad was turning 21, and had been denied the day off, as it was the store anniversary, which, while understandable, was still kind of horrid, to be honest. We could have coped without him, and as you will see in this story, we kind of had to. You see, Kieran's friends were not best pleased that he had to work on his big day, and so took him out the night before and got him absolutely shit-faced. Well, there you go. True friends there, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing that people in the States and other countries don't really get. Male friends in the UK, they're kind of like frenemies. Like they're really your friends. They're really there for you. You know what I mean? But every man in the UK would troll his friend something terrible. Like my best friends, because I know I control them and they'll be okay with it. You know, I would literally take them out if I could before a job interview and get them absolutely rat arse, you know what I mean? Things like that. It's just things that you do with mates. If you can see, here's the thing, right? If you're a UK bloke and you can see your friend is in danger, but you see a really funny story occurring is about to unfold, you say nothing. You just sit there and grab the popcorn, right? You make sure he's not going to die, but you just sit there and grab the popcorn. Whereas in the US and all that, they would step in for you and be like, hey, man, don't be doing that. You know, it might not work out so well. No, UK, you grab that popcorn, man. You'll dine out on this. You'll dine out on this story. So, I was there too, but made my excuses and left halfway through the night, as I knew the store anniversary was the next day, and unlike Kieran, who was in university and was in the job for pocket money and the discount, I took the job quite seriously as I wanted to stay at Games Workshop. Okay. On the anniversary day itself, Kieran turns up looking very pale and actively smells of booze. I'd get him some toothpaste and mouthwash and tell him to scrub his face to scrub his face to clean the alcohol coming out of his pores. This is a neat trick if you ever smell of booze after a hefty night. Get a solid hot shower and then douse your armpits and face and neck with ice cold water. It not only cleans the smell away, but tightens the pores on your skin too. Combine that with some Lynx body wash or body spray, and you should be good. So far, so good. Kieran was staggering through the day, being a complete liability, but the guy had always had my back in the store. He was really funny to be around, and actively argued with the manager Will whenever things got a little bit too harsh. He was a bro, so I was happy to help him out. He was useless as a chocolate teapot, but he was a bro. I can see through the store anniversary as it picks up, however, that my boy is not going to make it. He looks like he wants to die. Will is getting more and more agitated, the manager, and eventually, when Kieran's break comes up, he snaps at him to go take his break and get his shit together, quote unquote, which Kieran does bashfully. The store goes quiet a few minutes later, as a stunning woman walks into the store. I am talking top tier, dressed to kill, but not slutty, redhead in a suit. I don't know if you all know what the normal ambiance is at a Games Workshop, but this is not our usual standard of clientele. Yeah, what happened to me as well, like whenever a woman who was like half decent looking walked in, it was just like everybody just stopped doing what was like. Okay, so there was a woman who worked for GW in the health and safety department, and every now and again she would come around to your store just to check everything was going well and to give you a bit of training on health and safety, which is fair enough. But she would do it during office hours. That's what she would do. She would drive around and do it then. She was incredibly hot, and when I say incredibly hot, naturally hot, like she wasn't like dolled up or anything. She would come in, and dark hair, amazing body, really pretty. You'd just come in, sit down, and be like, okay, this is what's going to happen with it, and she'd talk you through it. She came into my store, and the entire place went silent. And everyone just looked at her, and I was like, oh, Jesus. I've met her before when I was on my walk around at HQ. So I went over there, introduced myself. Yeah, how's it going? Blah, blah. We sat down, and about halfway through, like, blokes are coming past, like, finding excuses to stand nearby. And eventually I just said to her, like, quietly, said, does this happen all the time when you go into a store? And she just like, tapped me on the arm and went, yes! Thank God somebody said it, right? Thank God somebody said it finally. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm always treading on eggshells because I know the manager knows that this is happening when I go into a store. But, like, yes, thank you for bringing that up. I was, oh, yeah, fair enough. That was just hilarious. Anyway, moving on. Will heads over, overtaking me as I approach her to ask if she needs anything. Obviously, he means to impress her with his middling income taken from a low-level retail management job. As he rifles off his spiel, she simply holds up a hand to stop him, and in an Eastern European, possibly Ukrainian accent, smiles and says, I am here to see Kieran. Is he here? We are stunned, gobsmacked. The lucky bastard. Will asks what she needs him for, or if she is a friend, and she says that she is actually his girlfriend, and needs to give him a key to her apartment. Will nods and tells her how to get to the backroom area. It's around the back up some stairs. She leaves through the back of the store into the staff-only area, and we stand around stunned. I have a little giggle and think how life does indeed work in mysterious ways if Kieran can pull a girl like that. The time for Kieran's break to be over comes and goes, with still no sign of him, and I can see Will getting more and more agitated as he wants to go on his break too, and Kieran is leaving him high and dry. In the end, he asks me to take over the store for a bit and goes upstairs. Now, I am not in the room for the following event, but Kieran did tell me what happened later over a beer. Okay. Essentially, Will heads upstairs, only to hear the song Sweet Cherry Pie by Warrant blasting from the storeroom. Oh, any of you know that song know what's coming. He opens the door and is agitated to say the least, only to see Kieran's girlfriend, quote-unquote, giving him a lap dance that has not quite reached the best part yet. She is straddling him but still mostly clothed, and Will freaks the fuck out, telling her to put her clothes back on and for Kieran to go downstairs to the shop floor. Will then leaves. Kieran, being the bro he is, apparently just instructs the stripper to continue her job and to be quick about it. This guy's a fucking Chad. Wait, you're going? No, come back here. We're not done. Take your clothes off. We're not done, right? Don't clip that. After a few minutes, Will walks back in, only to find a now fully naked young lady and a topless Kieran grinding on the chair. He's just my hero. This guy's my hero. I want this guy to take me out and show me his ways. It's ridiculous. He asks her to leave and tells Kieran to just go home. His day and job are apparently over. Downstairs, I am running the store and see the girl stride past without looking at anybody. Her work here was apparently done. Kieran comes down and apologises and tells me he will find me later and fill me in on what happened. Will came down with a pale colouring and simply told us he didn't want to talk about it. This was a disciplinary matter, or so he said. It turns out the discipline was not needed, as Kieran handed in his notice the next day and went to work for Game instead, a video game retailer here in the UK, for the remainder of his university course. He told me the next day over a beer or 6 just what had happened, and I think I only stopped chuckling about 2 weeks ago, to be honest. It's still my favourite memory of Games Workshop for the sheer insanity and ballsiness of it. Apparently his friends had hired the stripper as a practical joke because they really didn't like Will at all and knew Kieran wanted out of the job anyway. Still, trust the guy's friends to go for the nuclear option. Cheers North, keep up the content. Prosif Inheritor. Yeah, dude, like, as I just said before, that is UK male friends all over. Like, they will literally feed you to the wolves. They literally, if it's going to amuse them, they'll be like, you're right, and we're doing it, right? We're going to get this stripper, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And yeah, man, it isn't absolute. Everybody's got a story like that. If you're a UK mate, like once, right, I had a friend of mine and at university, and we were walking to town, and he was caught short, right? He really needed to go to the loo. So he said, right, I need to go for a piss. Dude, I'm going to go down this embankment, which is right next to the road that we're walking on. Do you mind, like, you know, looking out for me whilst I have a wee? I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And we were known for trolling each other. This was at night. We were known for trolling each other. So I'm standing there nearby, and this bunch of girls walk past. And I just turn around. I point at him. And without realising, right, what he's done is he's tried to get his member out, right? And he just can't quite do it because we're 7 pints in at this stage. So what he's done, he's taken his belt off and he's pulled his pants down around his arse to actually, you know, relieve himself. So I just say, oh, look at this guy here, and he's pissing in public, right? And they all look, and they just see his arse. Just this back to them. Sorry, I'm really I've apologized afterwards. I was like, dude, I'm really sorry. I just couldn't resist. He got me back so many times after that. That was like one of the only times I got him. One of the only times I got him. It was normally him ripping into me and like literally not making my life a misery. Oh, there was another time where I was dating a girl at university, and she was a film student. So she was doing all these different movies, and she was a bit of a free spirit. So she said, you know, I need to do this lesbian love scene, not with me, but with like two actors that I've got. You know, they're going to come in and they're going to have a kiss on a bed, and it needs to look like it's in a university dorm room. So do you mind if I do it in your room? And I said, of course not. You know, come on in. You know, it's fine. It's great. And then the day they were going to turn up, I actually had a date with somebody else. So I was like, you can't go in my room anymore, but I've got just a thing for you. Here's another room number. Knock on that door. He'll be fine with it, right? Knowing that my friend's parents were visiting that day, so she turns up with these two stunners, knocks on his door, and it's like, can we kiss on your bed, please? And he's like, sure. You know, I think his parents had just left at that point, but I was trying to catch him out, and it didn't work out. That's the kind of thing UK friends do, right? They just... any opportunity to just screw with one of your friends, you take it. As long as it's good-natured, you know what I mean? And you're not getting him into too much trouble. I knew the piss thing wouldn't get him into trouble because we were way away from any sort of, you know, hustle and bustle. Anyway, love you a long time. I will speak to you tomorrow with some more hobby nightmares. Hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you tomorrow. Happy New Year. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Love you. Bye.